Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show. We are coming off the heels right here, as you see right here. We have new women's tag team champions. Unexpected. We didn't think they was going to be the heavy favorites to win it, but they won it. The fan favorites, Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah, win the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. We'll talk about that. Raquel and Aaliyah are the new tag team champions. We'll get to that. Plus two, Sami Zayn. He got his issues with the bloodline, but he's part of the bloodline. But Kevin Owens in the midst of the way. Kevin Owens trying to make Sammy have some sense. We'll talk about that. Also, too, a world words between Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins. Riddle now can finally call himself Matt Riddle after Seth Rollins and him had personal attacks and exchanges towards each other. We'll talk about that coming up, as well as the return of the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle in a shouting match with none other than Chad Gable. What's going on with Kurt Angle? Kurt Angle shouting on here and stuff. Kurt Angle with his triumphant return, and he reminisced and with Edge about what they did back in the heyday of the attitude, the entertainment era of WWE. We'll get to that as the Pro Wrestling Show starts right now. Hello, everyone. This is Kendra Diggs here, joining you after the for the Raw Ring Report here tonight as we have new women's tag team champions, Aaliyah and Raquel Rodriguez, and that grueling women's championship tournament, tag tournament that a lot of people are talking about. But we'll get to that in a minute. But first thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect, and don't forget to subscribe. Subscribing is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Like I said, we see right here the image of Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah finally winning the Women's Tag Team Championship in that we'll get to it. But we got a lot to get to. So let's get started with this. AJ Styles, the phenomenal one. AJ Styles kicked off Monday Night Raw with him teaming up with Dolph Ziggler. AJ and Dolph Ziggler are now becoming a formidable team. I think AJ and Dolph now wants to team together and team up and stuff. They went against the Judgment Day, Finn Balor, Rhea Ripley, and Damian Priest. It was mainly Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Don't be surprised Rhea Ripley wanted to join in the fray. Rhea Ripley making her presence known as ringside. We know that the Judgment Day will take on Rey Mysterio and Edge. They just had two recent A&E biographies on them. Now they get in the ring toe to toe with the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest. That's gonna be a hell of a match. I tell you that right now. Well, we can tell you this: the Judgment Day was trying to win the match, but they won. But at the end, Edge came out there. Edge trying to even the odds, and that's why Edge came out there. Sometimes too, you can see Dominic kind of and Rhea Ripley. Dominic, Rhea Ripley might have a crush on Dominic. That's why I'm assuming. But we know the Judgment Day tried to retreat from Edge. Edge, the man who started the Judgment Day. Edge has to be the man to kill the Judgment Day because Edge was the one who brought them in. And like they say, I brought you into this world, like parents like to say, I brought you into this world and I can take you out of this world. So there's a lot going on. We can tell that join us this Friday after SmackDown be a slobber knocker. A good old JR like to say, it's gonna be a slobber knocker. I tell you that right now. So we know that. Also, too, the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle in phenomenal shape. Kurt Angle looking like he can have one more run. He did say that on his podcast, in the Kurt Angle show, that he would like to have one more run left in him. Well, Kurt Angle came out there to greet the crowd in his hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Kurt Angle greeting the crowd, but he got interrupted by the Alpha Academy. The Alpha Academy trying to stage away Kurt's spotlight. Kurt Angle wasn't having it, and him and Chad Gable had a shushing match. You look at this. Look at this. You can tell right here. Both of them look like Kurt Angle's trying to pass the torch. And Kurt Angle, that time he did his biography. Also, too, Kurt had his biography. And Kurt Angle said he got beat by Rey Mysterio. He said, I got beat by a 12-year-old. A 12-year-old. Well, Chad Gable is kind of reminds me of Kurt Angle in a way. And Kurt Angle has that same aura and that effect that he does. So look for Kurt Angle to give Chad Gable the rub, but it wasn't Chad Gable offered Kurt Angle to join American Academy for one night. Kurt that rejected the idea, didn't want to join them. Kurt decided that he wants to be a part with the Street Profits. So the Street Profits and the American Alpha win against each other one-on-one. And the Street Profits won the match over American Alpha. And Street Profits was going to give Kurt Angle some of that smoke. But Kurt Angle didn't want that smoke. Kurt Angle decided that he wants the Street Profits to drink milk. The Street Profits decided to drink milk that night. And Street Profits, like they say, milk does a body good. So milk helped the Street Profits gain some strength by the help of Kurt Angle. Kurt, you can still drink some smoke, you know. We ain't gonna tell you what the smoke is, but hey, Kurt Angle said, hey, I don't want no smoke. Kurt Angle looking in phenomenal shape. Kurt Angle in great condition. Like he can go one more time, but hey, you never know. That was good on Kurt Angle giving the rub to the Street Profits earlier that night. Also, too, coming out the heels of their upcoming match at Clash of the Castle, that 6-woman tag team match, Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair teamed up with Asuka and Alexa Bliss. These 3 women will have Bella set just Saturday at Clash at the Castle. And they was in action against some jobbers, but they won their match. So they're prepping themselves for their match coming up at Clash at the Castle. Can Bianca Belair lead her team to victory when her, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss team up? They team up to get their hands on Bayley and her team. We'll see coming forward with that. We'll see that coming up. Also, too, what happened? The Miz. The Miz looking to get himself back in championship contention. Miz took on United States champion Lashley. Miz and Lashley took each other to the limit, but Miz got distracted by Lashley, by this man, Dexter Lumis, who still has some over Miz's head. Miz trying to figure out what's going on. And this has got weirder. Miz lost to Lashley, but Miz wanted to leave Raw. He was trying to leave Raw, but Dexter Lumis in the back seat with the Miz. I don't know what this is gonna lead to, but I'm kind of intrigued to see what it's gonna do and how that's gonna lead. But we'll have to wait and see on that and how that's gonna play out eventually and stuff. With Miz, Ciampa, and Miz, Ciampa, Dexter Lumis, how all this gonna play out in the coming weeks. We'll have to wait and see on that one and stuff. Speaking of that, it was a sit down face to face. Well, one on face to face, but they was in separate rooms. Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins. These 2 gentlemen will meet at Clash at the Castle. This rivalry has turned personal. This rivalry dates back when Seth Rollins really didn't want to work with Riddle because of what Riddle and his soon-to-be ex-wife had said about Becky Lynch. Now they bring the rivalry to a head But Riddle was bringing up Seth's business, and Seth did the same thing, bringing up Riddle's business that he's no longer with his ex-wife. So this match is getting personal. It's getting personal real quick. And then these two will meet. They try to meet each other, beat each other with the Allen. That didn't work to no effect. So these two men will meet at Clash of the Castle. This is personal. This is going to be a grudge match that you thought you didn't see, but they're going to be tearing each other apart. That's what commentator Corey Graves said. One of these men won't be making it after Clash of the Castle at night. Riddle is a dangerous fighter, just as Seth Rollins is dangerous. So which one of these two men will stand the test of time? We'll tell you just come later this week on the Clash of the Castle, predict the outcome special. So look for that. Also, too, um, reunited. It feels so good for now. But Theory and Johnny Gargano returning to action in a 9 month absence since his maternity leave. That was a long maternity leave with Candace. But Johnny Gargano back into the fray. But Gargano now. He sets his sights on trying to make it in Raw, but Austin Theory and him used to be teammates, but Austin Theory, after leaving the way, and Gargano went his way to take care of his family for right now. Austin Theory has been on the road. He's been on the road with Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, and WrestleMania. Theory had reminded Gargano that how many WrestleManias you main evented, how many things you done, how many did you win the Money in the Bank briefcase? I guess rubbing in his face that since you've been gone, I've been winning. So I think that's the next fruit. That's a natural right there. Gargano has something to prove. And I think since Theory has taken upon himself under the helm of Vince McMahon, since Vince McMahon no longer in power, Gargano now has to find his footing and see whether he stand coming forward in that. So we see that. Also, too, since Edge is wanting to get his hands on the Judgment Day, he'll get his hands this weekend on the Judgment Day, and how all that's going to play out eventually, and see how that's going to play and stuff eventually, and stuff like that. We'll see how that's going to fade out coming forward and stuff. Edge had to poke a little fun at Spence a couple of years ago, as you recall. Edge and Kurt Angle were involved in that battle. Kurt Angle had reminisced about Edge. Kurt Angle made sure that Edge wasn't playing no jokes. Edge did that thing saying about the tag team titles. Reminiscing about 20 years ago. Him and Kurt reminiscing about the past and those cue cards and stuff. Kurt Angle really at first didn't pay attention. At first he did, and then later on Kurt Angle caught on to what Edge was trying to do. I think Kurt Angle was, all for just fun and all for the about that. We was trying to get photos, but fortunately the thing acting up. So like I said, Kurt Angle was showing stuff like that earlier. We want to get it right quick for you so we can show you what the okay. So we see right there Kurt Angle and Edge reminiscing. I think this is what we was talking about right here. Kurt Angle and Edge. Yeah, we can show it. Okay, no, that's not it. We can show it right here. Old school when they first did on SmackDown to they did now. So like I said, Kurt Angle, Edge playing around, teasing from a reminiscing, recreating the bit that they did 20 years ago. So that was kind of good for them. Also, too, the tag team champions, the Usos, the undisputed tag team champions, had to make an appearance on Raw. Pre-warning folks that Roman Reigns be celebrating his 20th, his 2-year reign as Universal World Champion. It happens on SmackDown. We'll talk about it on Predicted Outcome, the Classic Castle Special, no SmackDown Ring Report. As you see right here, Kevin Owens came out there. Kevin Owens saying that Sammy is wasting his time with the bloodline. The bloodline is using him and making him seem like a clown. But Kevin Owens took on Jay. He took on Jay in a good fair matchup. Jay with the kicks and Kevin Owens with the kicks. Jay almost had the win, but Kevin Owens picked up the win by cheating. Kevin Owens get the win, but we just don't know what Sammy Sammy what's his name? Sammy he cost the Usos the match, cost Jay the match. So you know Jay's gonna get mad at him once again. Sami Zayn kind of conflicted and kind of torn between the two. So look for that to continue on in the coming weeks. And I don't know how the payoff is going to come out. I'm thinking that the Usos would take on Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for the tag team titles. And I'll say this: it's going to be like a Batista situation. Remember when Batista caught Ric Flair and Triple H talking behind his back, and Batista knew it all along. I think Sami Zayn is going to be finding that same situation, and he's going to be hurt, but he's going to side with Kevin Owens, and he's going to decide to take those titles eventually one day away from him. So we'll see that. Speaking of that, the finals of the women's tag team tournament. What's happening now? And we tell you right now, we have new women's tag team champions, and they are the lovely Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah are now finally the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. They can go in and show Raw, SmackDown, NXT, you name it. They're going. They won the tag team titles. Raquel and Aaliyah elated, happy. It was an upset because everyone thought that Bailey's team, the Cold having technical difficulties, but we're gonna end this right quick. So we see Raquel and Aaliyah, now the new women's tag team champions. They did it. Congratulations to them. Raquel and Aaliyah winning the women's tag team titles over Dakota Kai and Io Sky. They might get a rematch down the road. Who knows? Who knows? So, like, congratulations. All right. That ends the Raw Ring report. Let's quickly move to Hot Topic. On Hot Topics, we can tell you right now that WWE is in talks to bring back a former personality, former WWE star. Many people think it's the Fiend and all that nonsense. No, it could be Raquel's own boyfriend, the Beast, the Monster Among Man, Braun Strowman, could be making his return to WWE. There's been talks about Braun coming back. If Braun Strowman comes back, I'll be shocked. You know what? Braun could make an impact coming back to get his hands on Roman, get revenge on what Roman done to him. So I could see that. I can see they can bring EC3 back, but I don't guess EC3 he's not interested in that. Braun Strowman could be coming back sooner rather than later. Also, too, we're getting breaking news right now that the Velveteen Dream, Patrick Clark, has been arrested for drug possession in a warrant. He was arrested this Friday of this past week. Velveteen Dream, a former NXT North American champion, he was trying to make a comeback to WWE. That wasn't in the plans, and like I said, a lot of these wrestlers get a second chance. So, hey, he's just drug possession. He can probably come back if he's still in shape and stuff. But it looks like he's in peak shape. So who knows? Patrick Clark arrested for drug possession, but you never know. This might give him a second lease on life and a second chance to get himself together and come back to WWE. You know, you never know. In America and stuff, America is all about the land of opportunity and second chances, a comeback story. So hopefully he can get himself clean and WWE hire him back. He was really good in NXT. I just don't know what had happened, but anyway, that's his business. But we get more details on this story, we'll let you know throughout this week on what's going on throughout. Also, too, Samoa Joe. A lot of people weren't knowing what his whereabouts was. Samoa Joe. A lot of people thought he was out of AEW. That wasn't the case. Samoa Joe has been filming for Peacock, and the filming has been ending for the production. Samoa Joe likely to come back to the AEW to finish his program with Jay Lethal to get that ready in Ring of Honor. So we'll see. Also, too, a lot of fans have been showing their displeasure of FTR not being in the upcoming AEW game and saying what's going on. We don't know. Hopefully, FTR in AEW will kind of give us excuse. This is no, that's not it. Right here. This is the tweet. What's going on with FTR? It said there was some issues with the move captions, animation caused the game to launch the rosters with FTR. So who knows what's going on? They can still be added to the game. So ain't no telling. FTR is a popular tag team in AEW, and I think no question they'll be heading to WWE sooner rather than later when they want to renew or something. So we'll see on that. All right, that's going to end the pro wrestling show. We're going to end it with Aaliyah and Raquel Garza winning the women's tag team titles and finally getting their recognition that they truly deserve. Thank you all for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. We'll see you tomorrow for the Pro Wrestling Show for the NXT Ring Report. I've been your host, Kendrick Dick, saying so long and happy wrestling, y'all.